Hey, welcome back to Frank's Model Works. I'm Frank. So if you thought after a 2-hour-long video that I was done, and actually like a 49-minute video before that, that I was done talking about Chrome, you are out of your mind. Alright, I'm the one who's out of their mind. But if you thought I was done talking about it, you're mistaken, because I'm not. I want to continue to explore the subject so that we have all of the answers. We've done all the experimentation. And at the end of everything, we know what's the best method and material to use if we want to replace our chrome. And if you're here, I'm assuming that you want to replace your chrome. If you're here and you think that there's another method, now is not the time to hit the comments and tell us what your method is. Now's the time for you to buy a camera and make your own video. Okay? So, I will make these videos for you guys on YouTube because I love you. I love you. You're my favorite audience. Don't tell the people on TikTok because they get a little rambunctious. So, anyway, get up there and I'll show you what we're... Oh, I got a glove on. I'll show you what we're doing. Okay, in my previous video on chroming, I gotten a lot of comments about trying to decant the Revell Chrom Spray. I'm now at the end of filming the third part of the Chrome series, and I have already tried to decant the Chrome Spray. It didn't work well, but what I'm going to probably do is put this part of me trying to decant it into the beginning of the third video, because, you know, most people are going to crap out after 3 minutes anyway. So this is me trying to do it. It's very messy, it's incredibly wasteful, and even if I get a usable amount decanted, I still don't know. Like, I'd still have to waste most of what I get decanted trying to figure out what the right pressure is, whether it has to be thinned, what to thin it with. I mean, we already have a winning combination of just spraying it out of the can that it comes in. So I'll appease the people who want to see it decanted and see what happens, but don't expect much. Here we go. It's going to be really messy. So, and I'm not, you know, people are going to talk about, you know, you're supposed to attach the straw, and I know how to decant paint. I don't want to destroy this nozzle. It's a $30 can of paint. So, you know, I'm going to be doing rudimentary means to try to decant it. I'm trying to show you, just spray it out of the can. That's what the nozzle looks like. It's very messy, and like I said, the delivery method that Revell has chosen in order to market the product, might also be a large factor in the product's characteristics after use. So trying to decant it, by the way, my allergies are ridiculous right now. Trying to decant it is wasteful, and I'm not sponsored. I pay $30 for these if I can find them. So all of that, and I got less than a milliliter of paint. I mean, I'm sure I could probably destroy this cap rigging up a decanting, but then there's $30 of waiting for the accelerant inside here, or the whatever it is, the stuff that makes the paint come out. Waiting for that to gas off, and while not letting the paint dry, and then trying to figure out how to airbrush it. It's not worth the trouble of. And the only reason why, like, it works on bumpers, it works on wheels, it works on all the parts. It's just, it didn't work well with the photo etching. So for the photo etching, I'm still gonna use the Gaia Notes. And honestly, you could find a cheaper source for chroming photo etch parts if you choose to do that. But if you pay the $30 for the Gaia Notes for the photo etch parts, it's probably going to last you a lifetime. And that's going to go a long way. You know what I mean? So this experiment is taking place. This experiment is taking place after I've already sprayed the parts that I showed you that I was going to spray with Revell Chrom, and they've been drying for several days now. They're ready to go, and that this might actually appear in the beginning of the video because so many people have asked me about decanting it that I want to make sure that they see it, because, you know, most folks bail really quick. So I wish I could provide more engaging content to keep you folks interested, but you are a fickle bunch. All right. So for all of that, I've got about half a milliliter of paint, and that's not really going to be useful for much. So I'll see if there's something I could spray with it, but I wouldn't count on it. All right. See you in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to use the wheel back from the 71 Mach 1 Mustang because it's already primed. Let's see how it goes. I have the airbrush set for 20 psi. It's a 0.3 millimeter double action airbrush. Let's see what happens. So at 20 psi, unthinned, directly out of decanting it, it looks okay. I don't notice a marked improvement over just spraying it out of the can, but perhaps for photo etch stuff, I don't know, maybe. Maybe that'll be the 4th video. Decanting it and trying to see if you could use it for photo etch. Alright, so on to the next part. Okay, so we have a bunch of parts laid out in front of us. These are from the 69 dot kit. I'm eventually going to use these, so I'm actually chroming these because I want to chrome them. The rest of these parts are spare parts from a junk kit that I bought, and these might be the wheels, I think, from a 67 Revell. So, as per my usual method, I soak these in super clean, that purple stuff, remove the chrome, got the parts ready by sanding them and removing mold release lines and polishing up the parts. Any spot that had like globbed up clear from the kit chroming process was cleaned up. Ooh, except for right here. Look at that. So I'll fix that. So what we're gonna do now, I then washed and let these air dry. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna mount them on fixtures. And the way that this is gonna play out is I wanna try to get as many permutations of this process so that you can make an informed decision. Now, every one of these is going to be painted with Revell's Chrom Spray, with the exception of these pieces. These pieces are going to be put through my old process of Mr. Color, Mr. Surfacer 1500 black with Tamiya X1 gloss black. And then on top of that, I'm going to spray the Gaia Notes that I did in the last video. It's just I'm gonna change the airbrush that I shoot them out of. I'm gonna shoot them out of a 0.5 millimeter airbrush at a higher pressure to see what happens, because I don't know if the chemical composition of the Gaia Notes and the Revell are the same. They smell the same, so maybe the characteristics of the Revell Chrom have to do with the delivery method. So, and like I've said throughout the past two videos, the Revell Chrom Spray has got a really big spray pattern, and it comes out of there pretty quick. So that might have, now before somebody puts it in the comments that I should try to decant the Revell Chrom, I did try to do that. It was a mess. It's a waste for me. I mean, these things, I'm spending $30 a can too, folks. I mean, you know, I'm not going to try to decant enough to spray it out of the airbrush. I don't think it's worth even trying. At least not for me. If you want to do it, you're more than happy to try it out yourself. So, this one, the 69 dot pieces, are going to be primed with Mr. Surfacer Black and then shot directly with Revell Chrom without a gloss black base coat. So that these are not going to have a base coat. This is going to be the previous method that I used. These rally wheels are going to be just black primer and black gloss with Revell Chrom over it. And then this is going to be white primer, gloss white. These are Magnum 500s. White primer, gloss white with Revell Chrom, because I wanted to see how it reacts to white chrome. Now this is going to be, this is non-stripped, right off the chrome tree of a Revell 68 Chevelle. I'm going to spray Revell Chrom right on top of this, see what happens, just for the hell of it. These wheels have been dechromed, but I'm not going to prime them at all. I'm just going to spray them with Revell. So these two are going to be kind of like controls. This is right off the sprue. Hit it with Revell, let's see what happens. This is dechromed and cleared, you know, of mounting, sprue mounting locations and stuff, like any imperfections. I did clean them up a little bit. Just spray them without primer. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to set that up now, and then I will meet you over at the funny spot. All right, hold on. Okay, so we're over at the spray booth. This is the next day. Last night I primed what was going to be primed and applied gloss to what was supposed to be gloss. So to recap though, I have a couple of parts that I left in kit chrome plating, almost as a control to see what happens. Probably nothing. Probably won't have any adverse effects. We'll see. These wheels, which are like the Resto Mod wheels from the Revell 67 Chevelle. These were stripped and cleaned, but not primed. Okay? These parts are from the Revell 69 Dart. These were sprayed with Mr. Surfacer 1500 black, but not with a gloss black on top of it. So this is actually the method that I used for the 1971 Mustang Mach 1 parts that came out really nice. It was just Revell Chrome onto Mr. Surfacer 1500 black. Next up, we got rally wheels. Chevy rally wheels. You know, Chevy rally wheels were mostly argent, and only the trim rings and the center caps were chrome. You know, like if you're that guy, just know that when people find out you were invited somewhere and you're coming, they went. So if you're that guy, just know. I'm just kidding. These were painted with GX2 black from Mr. Color. Two of the Magnum 500s were painted with GX1 gloss white from Mr. Color. It's GX1, right? It's right here. Just look. GX1. What am I holding in my hand? In my hand I am holding a Magnum 500 that was sprayed with Tamiya X2 gloss white. And like I did two of the Magnum 500s in Tamiya gloss white, two of the rally wheels in Tamiya X1 gloss black. So X1 is gloss black with Tamiya, X2 is gloss white with Tamiya, GX2 is black with Mr. Color, GX1 is white with Mr. Color. You know, why would you want to, you know, make it not confusing? Why didn't you just keep the Magnum 500s? Because that's the way I did it. That's why. Chill. So, and if you remember the parts for the 68 Chevelle, I'm gonna do with the Gaia Notes, just with a different airbrush. So we have our Revell Chrome over here, ready to rock and roll. I've been shaking and baking with it. My basement's probably about 63 degrees year round. It's great. It's always a nice temperature down here. It does get a little cold at night in the winter, but it's always very dry too. Duff, you're always missing out on the visuals, Duff. You're always missing out. It's the facial expressions, too. So, like I said, don't know if I said it in this video, but when you spray this stuff, try to give it a little bit of distance so that you're not on top of it, because this spray pattern is pretty intense. And I think that might have something to do with why it comes out so bright. And this nozzle is pretty different. Maybe that has something to do. I don't know. Maybe it does. I don't know. I'm not an in guy. You know, like I don't get the inside scoop on this kind of stuff. So we try about, what is that? 12 inches, 14 inches, somewhere in there. Try not to hit my airbrushes. You know what? Let's get these out of the way. The compressor has two little thingies on top to hold airbrushes. So we'll get them out of the way so they don't get hit. Just spray the damn thing, Frank. All right. This is good stuff, let me tell you. I mean, I had heard good things, and I was pleased with the results I got before. This is nice stuff. You know what else I like about the Revell Chrom Spray? And the Gaia Notes did it too. Like sometimes when you photograph, especially all clad, it almost like the gloss black comes through more than the chrome does. Even though in person, all clad chrome looks good, looks okay, it's pretty good. When you photograph it or you video it, it comes out like you see more gloss black than anything else. Interesting. Shut up and spray, Frank. Okay, so. My local hobby shop didn't have any more of this, of the Revell Chrom Spray. So I ordered more from one of the shops that I like to shop from, Burbank's House of Hobbies. Shameless plug. No sponsorship. I'm just, plug them. Nice folks. They had it in stock. Should be here in a couple of days. Wow. That looks good. Alright, I'm probably going to speed up and just paint this, so I'll shut up. Okay. Wow. Spraying it right on, directly onto chrome, kit chrome. It looks like there was an immediate reaction, so I want to see how that dries. So I'm gonna move on and set up to do the Gaia Notes, so be back in a second. Okay, we are back with the Gaia Notes. This time around, I'm going to be using a GSI Krios 0.5mm double action airbrush that's set for an operating pressure of about 17 psi. I just want to test and see if perhaps raising the pressure and increasing the nozzle size might change the characteristics on the finish of the Gaia Notes, but I don't know, we'll see. I mean, it's old habits die hard. I want to make sure before I abandon, and it looks like I might abandon Gaia Notes after this bottle, unless I can find a good use for it. I still like it on the, yeah, I guess that's the use for it, on the photo etch, for chroming photo etch, so I guess I'll need it for that. I won't have to buy it that often. I might just buy like 2 bottles, and that should last me for the rest of my life, hopefully. So I gotta, now, one thing I wanted to note before I forget and knock my glasses off, with the Revell Chrom Spray, I found that, now, if you remember, when you saw me spraying it, I was spraying perpendicular to the surface being painted. And then I noticed with some of the wheels that I had fixtured so that they'll be vertical, I didn't like that the paint was pooling, so I laid them down. But I did leave a few of them standing upright just to see what would happen. So I would recommend, and we'll see how this bears out once it dries, I would recommend spraying perpendicular to the surface and then putting the surface that's been painted horizontal and flat, so that the leveling properties of the spray will come into effect and you won't have pooling and in one spot, or worse, you know, like dripping down. Because even from that distance, I was getting a little bit of buildup on some of the parts, which is, you know, I'm trying to do a pathfinding mission to find out the best way to use the product. So we've already determined that the product is superior. So we have to find the best way, the best practices in order to use it to our advantage. So I'm gonna spray out the Gaia Notes now, and I'm gonna apply another glove because the glove that I was using. So there was an album in the late 90s by a band who's still together, actually just reformed in their original, well, semi-original configuration. And on the album cover was a woman with a lot of tattoos dressed as a nurse doing this with a glove. Name the band, name the album, name the woman. Let's spray. One of my favorite bands, by the way. Love them. Love them. sprayed that part. I'm going to wait for it to flash over and see if it needs another layer. Not a coat, a layer. There's a subtle difference between a coat and a layer. I don't know what it is. A coat is thicker. A layer is less material. You would build up a layer to create a coat, and coats you would lay on to build up thickness. So I think, I don't know, correct me in the comments. I don't care anymore. Think whatever you want. All coats are layers, but not all layers are coats. I don't know, probably not. Ran out of paint. So today is Wednesday, May 22nd. I'm waiting for a video to render that I'm going to upload. That's part of the Chrome series. I'm off tomorrow because I have to do I have to do the prep for a colonoscopy on Friday. And when I told one of my coworkers I'm going for a colonoscopy, he goes, "Is it serious?" I go, "No, it's intramural. It's it's just it's elective." Of course, once you're 50 years old, you gotta go. I hope you're going. I looked at my demographics. Most of my viewers are over 50. Get yourself checked out. Please. I gotta go every 6 months. Gotta take care of yourselves, kiddies. Certainly, wasting a lot more material, that's for sure. Wasting a lot of material. And just looking at it right now, it's definitely not Revell Chrom Spray quality. Do one more layer on this rear bumper and then call it. Bye, Pipette. Pinky's out when pipetting, like an aristocrat. Just class this joint up a little. Just for S's and G's, I'm gonna lower the air pressure, see what happens. So, in the immortal hand motions of Sacha Baron Cohen in The Dictator, that's it. It's a wrap. Hold on. We'll talk. Okay, so here we are back with the results of all of our experiments using Revell Chrom, and one last ditch effort on the Gaia Notes. So let's get straight to the Gaia Notes. When we were shooting that, if you'll recall, I basically called it. I mean, this is it's a nice color. It's definitely not chrome. And even though I shot it through larger nozzle size at a little bit of higher pressure, and this one I actually, where was the, is there a piece missing? One I actually dropped back down to see if there was anything I could do. And at this point, see, like right here in the center of this, there's like a nice chromish area that this is what the Gaia Notes used to do for me fairly consistently, but I'm not able to get that anymore. Maybe it's an old bottle. I don't know. I've had the bottle for about 1.5 years, 2 years maybe. But when you look, let's set these aside for now. But when you look at the results that the Revell Chrom did, it's just, there's really no comparison. Even the best Gaia Notes results that I've gotten throughout the years don't even come close to approaching what the Revell Chrom has done. So if you recall, this the dart pieces were shot with Mr. Surface of 1500 black and then just given Revell Chrom over them, and they look great. I mean, this is definitely a usable part, and these are definitely usable wheels. What I've come to experience with at least a prime of black and then Revell Chrom painted on top of it, you get more depth. There's more richness and depth, as if you're looking at an actual metallic piece of metal that's been chrome plated. And that is more obvious on these pieces, the Chevy Rally wheels, which were these were treated to, now these two in particular received a coat of Mr. Surface of 1500 black. Then these two received Mr. Color GX2 Ueno black, and then they were painted with the Revell Chrom. So this is a deep, rich luster. I can't see a discernible difference between these rally wheels and these two rally wheels, which were painted in gloss black from Tamiya. So I can't see a discernible difference between either using Tamiya X1, which is much easier to find, X1 gloss black, much easier to find than the Mr. Color GX2 gloss black. So now on to my other findings. These two Magnum 500 wheels were treated to a primary primer. Oh boy, you can tell I'm tired. A primer coat of Mr. Color Surfacer 1500 white, and then Tamiya X2 gloss white. And the results are nice, but they're not really. There's definitely a luster. It's a good looking finish. I like it, but I don't think it has quite the depth of the gloss black. Now let's see if we can get these next to each other. So I don't know if the camera is going to pick up what I'm talking about, but maybe if I do that, you notice how on this one there's more of a depth. Now these are at an angle, where this one has just that very slight toyish quality of kit chrome, the Magnum 500, whereas the rally wheel has a depth to it. So although, like, if you like the look of, you know what, I'll get to a final analysis in a second. So our control pieces, these, if you remember, these were the, well, you should remember, it wasn't that long ago for you. For me, it was a couple of days ago. I just cut these pieces off the sprue, and I shot them with the Revell Chrom Spray. Now, if you look at this valve cover, do you see that? That looks almost like crazing. That's not dust. That looks almost like the Revell attacked the plating, or maybe even the lacquer underneath. Because, like I said, when you strip chrome, the kit manufacturers coat chrome parts with a clear coat first. Same thing. There's pitting and looks like a little bit of crazing. And this one didn't turn out that bad. But the other two would lead me, at this point, I'll put these, I'll say what I have to say. I wouldn't recommend just spraying Revell Chrom over parts that are still plated with the kit chrome. I don't think it's a good idea. You might have a problem just doing that. Now, these, if you remember, were stripped of their chrome but not primed. And to see them, it's actually a very similar effect to these, the Magnum 500s that were painted with the gloss white. And that might not be surprising, because this was originally white plastic, the Magnum 500. And this was originally white plastic with the kit manufacturer clear. So, is it as durable? Well, let's give it the old finger schmear. See what happens. Yeah, it's coming off. It's coming off on my finger. So, and it is rubbing off on the edge right there, that lip. So let's beat this up and see what we can do with it. Yeah, my fingers being mostly butter and bacon grease at this point. Yeah, it's actually starting to mar the finish around this edge, and I could probably mess this up pretty good with my finger. Not that, I mean, not for nothing. Yeah, you can see it on the tip of my finger. Who would do this? You know what I mean? Like, why would you do? You know, who would deliberately handle a kit? You know, a model part that way in an effort, but through normal handling. For instance, if you were going to put this into a tire, you know, how are you going to press it in without, you need to have some form of resiliency on your coating in order to place this into a tire. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem. And just for the sake of a control, these are kit chromed wheels. So they do look kind of toyish. That's my beef with kit chroming. But when placed next to this, in person at least, this looks like a deep, rich chrome metal piece. So in the final analysis, I think what our experimentation has provided, and you know what, let's do we want to do this? Yeah, we do, because let's see if we can mar the finish on one of the rally wheels, because I wouldn't leave them this way anyway. So nothing on the swab. Let's see about the rim. Very, very slight, and that might have been transfer. Let's use a different. Let's use my ring finger. No, not really. So it is fairly resilient. I'm not really digging in. So it is fairly resilient, but like I keep saying over and over again, don't touch your metallic parts. They're the most delicate finish we put on our models. So just limit the amount that, you know, and wear gloves, especially if you're greasy like me. So here's our final analysis. Based upon these results, I would not recommend spraying Revell Chrom Spray directly onto kit-plated parts. I would not recommend it to be sprayed onto stripped but not primed kit parts. Now, in terms of these results, you can achieve a fairly realistic finish by just priming and spraying with Revell Chrom, given sufficient curing time between doing that. Boy, I really didn't do a good job preparing these parts. I'm gonna have to strip them and do them over again. The wheels are okay though. So I would recommend in the final analysis, and you know what, before I get to the final analysis, if you like the look of kit chrome and you want to return to that look, which you might want to do, like if you're restoring a promo and you want it to look like kit chrome, you know, you might want to achieve that look, then I would recommend a white primer, a white gloss base coat, and then Revell Chrom over on top of it. But I think for the best result with Revell Chrom Spray, as demonstrated by these rally wheels, you're going to want to prime with black, prime with any color, doesn't matter. Prime, then a base coat of a gloss black, and since Tamiya X1 is the most readily available, relatively cheap, and does not appear to be in any way affected by the Revell Chrom Spray, I would recommend Tamiya X1 as the base coat, and then spray Revell Chrom Spray on top of it. So I guess we'll sum up. I'll put you back on the tripod, and I'll talk to you. All right? Hold on. You ain't kidding. So, as we've demonstrated, I'm going to go and make the following recommendations. Number one, if you want to reach a level of verisimilitude and replicate real chrome plating on a model car, my recommendation for doing that, based upon my experimentation that I've done over the course of this video and the videos that preceded it, would be strip the chrome by whatever means necessary, because certain kit manufacturers are going to have different chrome adhesion. You might have to put them in bleach and then wash them off and then put them in the Purple Power or the Super Clean, whatever it's called, and then repeat the bleach, get all the chrome off, but get the chrome off, then clean the parts, remove any mold separation lines, remove any bubbled up clear coat from the manufacturer's plating process. Get the parts, all the mold, all the sprue separation points, clean those up, get yourself a nice looking part. Then wash your parts. This will remove anything that you use to take the chrome off, your finger oils from cleaning them, and honestly I would recommend, until those parts are clean, don't touch them. Wear gloves. Clean them first, like common sense kind of stuff, but just keep in mind, like bleach and the degreasers, they could be caustic and they could hurt you, so wear gloves if the parts are still wet from that stuff, but wash it off. And then when you're ready to paint, you want a part that's contaminant free. So wash it off, and when you're ready to prime, I would recommend Mr. Surfacer 1500 Black. Then I would recommend Tamiya X1 Gloss Black as a base coat. You could even go a little kooky if you want and wet sand and polish that black on say the wherever you can, like on the bumpers. You could do that. That would be next level. If you really want to go for it, go for it. And then I would, after putting the base coat of gloss black, I would recommend, like I showed you, good 18 inches, forearms length. That might be more than 18 inches, but forearms length from your elbow to the part. Very light misting layers of the Revell Chrom Spray. Just be careful, because that stuff builds up fast and comes out fast. So once you've sprayed it, get the part horizontal, laying flat, so the paint leveling properties can take place and you don't have any drips or runs or anything like that. Allow it to dry, fully cure, 3 to 5 days at least. More if you can. I mean, more if you can. Handle it as little as possible even after it's cured. Do whatever you have to do to get it so that you don't have to continue to touch it, and you can apply it to the model with a minimum of touching, and get it on the model and try not to touch it again. Now, if you're going to be replicating kit chrome, if your final result is kit chrome with a clean part, which, like say you're restoring a promo and you want it to look like kit chrome, what I would recommend based upon these results is that you use Mr. Surfacer White 1500 as your primer, and then Tamiya X2 Gloss White as a base coat, and then apply the Revell Chrom being sprayed on. Now, the final thing as far as decanting, and we'll know, I mean, if you want to amuse yourself, check back the comments every now and then and see how many people are going to ask me if I well, maybe you should decant it. You'll know that they're the ones that didn't watch the video. It didn't make it past the introduction, because decanting and the problems involved with it, I moved the way the video is going to flow to accommodate the decanting question. It is very messy. I'm leery because this stuff is it's very expensive. It's hard to find, and there's only so much that I can do to experiment in decanting it. But I am in the process of trying to figure out a way to make the Revell Chrom Spray work for the photo etch. As far as kit parts, I don't think you should decant the Revell Chrom for it. I don't think it's necessary. These things look great, with it just sprayed on out of the can. But if you want to try to figure out a way, I guess we're going to have to try to figure out a way for you. If you want to use Revell Chrom Spray for photo etch, then what I've done already is I took out 3 photo etch sets. One of them I hit with the Mr. Metal primer, waiting for that to dry. God, that stuff stinks. One of them I sprayed with nothing, no primer, just right out of the can, Revell Chrom Spray, and that doesn't look like it's gonna be good. And then the other one, at 20 psi out of a 0.3 millimeter airbrush, I airbrushed the rest of what I had decanted, and I sprayed it on. It looked like it went on okay, but I haven't looked at it in about an hour, and we still got days for it to dry. So we'll see how that turns out. I guess that's going to be the 4th video in this series, but I'm trying to get answers for you. I'm trying to find out, so that you can make an informed decision if you want to go this path. I mean, and this is something that you might want to do if you're trying to up your game, or you might not find this important, but it's still nice to know, in case you want to hop into a brawl on a Facebook group. You'll have this video to reference. I hate it when it does. It scares the hell out of me, because I'm looking at a screen when it does that. Scares me. Like, who just turned my computer off? But so that's the information that I have for you up to now. We'll continue along. As always, I got Frizzo's back. I appreciate your support. And until we speak again, my friends, take care of yourselves and be well.